Let's first welcome to the ring from Cameroon. He is the lineal MMA heavyweight world champion, Francis the Predator Ngannou.
Well, as you can see on the screen there, the streets around the world by knocking down Fury in the third round. He still insists that he won that fight. He believes he will be beating Anthony Joshua on Friday night, and he is some specimen, Andy Clark.
He absolutely is, and when you see him stride into the ring there, for me anyway, he makes that walk to the ring kind of shrouded in this air of mystery still, because off the back of that performance, what we do know is that he's an awful lot better than we thought he would be, but it's still quite difficult to work out exactly how good he is and exactly what he's capable of against Joshua, and that makes it fascinating for us and potentially quite difficult for his opponent, because you never want to underestimate anybody, and I don't think there'll be any chance of that happening after what he did at the end of last October. But also, as Ben Davison said to us yesterday, Joshua's trainer, you also don't want to be overestimating anybody, because that way you can just allow them a route into the fight. You can allow them to grow into the fight. So he's got a lot going for him from a psychological point of view. There's Ben ringside with Lee Wiley, one of the coaching staff who does a lot of great work with their video analysis. And it was interesting talking to them yesterday, talking to Ben yesterday, Johnny, about how they really study tape in a way that other people don't. And it makes a lot of sense, because when you watch somebody fight, whether it's your fighter or the opposition fighter, there are certain things that they will do that are hardwired into them, natural instincts that are very unlikely to change, patterns that you can pick up on.
Habit. You pick up a fight habit, how they talk, how they walk, how they interact with people, how they are, and and that's how you study a fighter. Keep watching them, and the fighter yourself. There's habits you might have, but you actually don't realise you've got. This is what Ben was talking about, that Anthony Joshua does. So now we understand his job with Anthony Joshua. His job with Anthony Joshua is that I'm not going to show you anything new. I'm just going to show you what you are doing and what you aren't doing, and then you can figure that out for yourself. This is my assessment of it. So therefore, if Anthony can take that confidence and that belief into this fight, then it should be day and night. Now, looking at Ngannou, I know for a fact when he boxed Fury, yes, and this is not a diss, it's not a disrespect, because he was king of MMA. Brendan always said, if you fight a fight that doesn't know how to fight, I mean, we're talking digital boxing, then the worst was the fight, because you don't know what kind of shot they're going to throw. And Ngannou threw some kind of hatchet shot there.
It's a Superman punch.
Right, but you can get away with that in your sport, not in our sport. You shouldn't be able to anyway. But what I'm saying is, when a man's doing something so unorthodox that you can't prepare for, how do you prepare for him? How do you prepare for a man that actually doesn't have the boxing pedigree? Because you're going to get fighters that go in there that hold their hands up, use the jab, use the right hand, step around correctly. They'll have that unwritten step back conversation and say, oh, we don't know. This man's going to do everything against the rules. So now, this is about, again, I'm quoting Brendan again, schools teach you to remember. He taught us to think. You've got to be able to think in the ring. So Ben Davison will have showed things to Anthony Joshua for him to remember. Anthony Joshua needs to be now in a position to think. If you can think, you can think on your feet, you can adapt. So AJ needs to be able to think when he's in there, think on the job. And if he can think on the job, therefore nothing untoward should happen, because he's thinking on the job. If he goes in like a robot and thinks, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, don't do that, don't do this, he's going to get turned over, because this guy's too unorthodox for our sport. Because how are you going to prepare for somebody like that unless he's going to get other MMA fighters in there with him?
What was interesting was in the build-up to Ngannou's fight with Tyson Fury, there was a video that went out of Ngannou on the pads, and it got widely panned, and people were saying, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. This guy's got no chance. Fury's going to knock him out immediately. Was he all taking us all a little bit for a fool, Johnny?
No, not at all. I think he is what he is. Even when he said, look, I'm a man. I can punch, I can hurt. I'm not going to be impressed by your pedigree. I don't care. You at least beating guys that have been successful in their field on his way up in his sport, and the success he had with Tyson Fury. You know, you've got to give him credit, like we didn't, and you've got to give Tyson Fury discredit because he underestimated him. I don't think that would ever happen again. I think Tyson Fury now knows what's in front of him. He'd be in the condition he's in now to fight a guy. That's if they fought again. Don't think it will happen again. What I'm saying with this guy here,